everyone, welcome. My name is Billy. Today I would like to share with you 3 dresses that are inspired by the Q dress from Nina Lee. So the Nina Lee Q dress is a PDF pattern and it comes with 2 bodices. One is a short sleeve bodice with details that are somewhat reminiscent of the 40s, I think. And the second one is a sleeveless dress with shoulder straps and with this really cute cold shoulder details. And it is this cold shoulder dress that is the inspiration for my dress today. And to make the bodice, I used the bodice that I previously made for the black gingham dress. That is a copycat version of an In Tailor loft dress that I talked about in my last video number 33. And for the skirt, I think the Q dress has a little more straight than the new Look N6633 skirt. And so I turned to another new look skirt pattern that I have used extensively in my previously, and that is new look 6843 and View A. And I previously used this View A skirt for my winter no dart dress series. So if you are interested in checking out more variations of this skirt as part of a dress, please check out my winter no dart dress series, starting with my video number 19. And in a way, the construction is fairly straightforward. I did the same as the placket here. It's not very obvious, but there's a placket here, and it's a non-functioning one because I did put in a zipper in the back. And so the construction of this one is very similar to the red gingham dress that I talked about in my last video. And so in a way it was very similar, and also with the same sort of shoulder straps. So the only new part is really the cold shoulder portion. And to draw the cold shoulder pattern piece, I actually had some help, meaning that there was this really lovely woman that runs the channel called Sewing Lab, and she did a sew along for this Q dress. And so from her video, I was able to gauge what the size of the cold shoulder pattern piece should be, and also what the shape it was. And so I just copied it, and miraculously this is the first version, and first version worked out incredibly well. So I am very happy about it. So a noteworthy part about this particular Q dress was actually the mistake I made. So I actually made a waist tie for this, but originally it wasn't planned. So what happened was, after I made the outer shell, I put it on myself, and somehow the back waist seemed awfully low, and so I raised it. But then after I finished the whole thing, somehow the back waist was ridiculously high. My natural waist is here, and then it's about 1.25 inches higher than my natural waist. And originally I was just going to let it go because the print on this fabric is fairly busy, so the insanely high back waistline was not particularly visible. But I have learned very early on that a busy print is a new sewist's best friend. But after a day, I decided it did bother me. And so what I did was just added this waist tie, and then by tying it, it actually doesn't cover the waist seam entirely, but it definitely did obscure it, and also gave it a bit more interest in the back. And so overall it was a very good save. So I'm very pleased how this turned out. And also the original Q dress has a V-neck, but I made it a more of a sweetheart neckline, because the good thing about making a dress that so many people have made before is that I can check out Instagram on various versions, and I found that the people with the fuller bust, the neckline looks almost like a sweetheart neckline, and I thought that was really cute, so I decided to do that for myself. I'm very happy about it. I thought it was so cute. And for this one, I did a deep v-neck, and so and I thought it was, so it's sort of like coordinating with the front sweetheart neckline. I did a v-neck line in the back to have a very cohesive look. So overall, I am very happy about how this version turned out. So here is a quick video of this 4th of July dress. And I paired the dress with a pair of 3.5-inch sandal heels, and I thought it looked very festive and perfect for 4th of July festivities, even though I probably would just be staying at home this year to observe social distancing. But overall, I'm very happy how this dress turned out, so I am very pleased at my first attempt. The second Q-inspired dress that I will share with you today is this one with a white background and really pretty floral. And this fabric may look a bit familiar to you if you have been watching my channel. And this is actually the same fabric that I previously used for another of the new Look N6633 dress. And this was the leftover queen size fitted sheet from the other dress. And the reason I decided to make this dress was after I fixed the high back waist seam, I needed to make a version first just to test out my corrections. And so this is the version I did, and I'm really happy how it worked out. So this is the front here, and then for this one, because the fabric is fairly translucent, so I did not add pockets. The construction is exactly the same as this one, except that this one has no waist top. And so the noteworthy part about this dress is actually in the back. And so what happened is actually not very noticeable. But if you, but then here you can almost see there's a V sort of detail here. And this detail was not intentional. So what happened was originally I also wanted to do a deep V-neck for back for this one. But somehow I spaced out and cut the V-neck too deep. And as a result, my bra strap for the back portion was showing. And so originally I thought about maybe I could add some sort of tie to it, decorative, so they would obscure my bra strap. However, it's just simply impossible for me to be able to reach the back and tie it. And so I decided to just fix it by adding fabric. And by this point, because I had already lined up the entire dress, so that means I'm picking the entire zipper, all these layers of stitching, and then added fabric to the outer layer, and also the interior cotton long that I have. And so the whole fix took me about 5 hours actually. So that was a fairly time-consuming mistake, but I knew if I did not fix it, I would not wear it, and which of course would be a total waste of time, the time that I put in making this dress. And I'm really glad that I took the time to fix it, because it's really not noticeable at all. And if anything, it looked almost like a design detail, even though it is not. So overall, I am really pleased how this works out. This dress just looks so sweet. So here is a quick video of the floral dress, and I paired the dress with a pair of 3.5-inch wedge heels. And I thought, the look was really clean and very summery. And also because now it's summer, I got a little tanned. And so in a way, the tan and the white dress, provide a really nice contrast. And so, the white really pops. And so overall, I'm very happy about it. And one thing about this dress is I actually tightened up a bit of the bodice from the black gingham dress, because I feel that this Q-inspired dress looks best with a bit more of a fitted bodice. And so that was what I did. And it really is not the easiest thing to have a well-fitted bodice, but thanks to my dress form and just a few trial and error attempts, and overall I'm very happy about the fit that I was able to achieve on these dresses. The third dress that I will share with you today is this one made from a silk charmeuse with a very large floral print. And so here is a close-up of the fabric itself. And so this silk charmeuse, I really like it because the shiny side is on the inside here. This is the inside itself. And so the exterior side is a matte finish. And I thought it looks really elegant and I really like it. And so I wanted to make the white floral one because I wanted to test the pattern before I cut into this really nice silk charmeuse. And the previous two dresses, for example, like here, the cold shoulder piece kind of sticks out a bit, and I really wanted to see what it would look like with a more drapey fabric, and so that's why I used the silk charmeuse in my stash. And I purchased this silk charmeuse from Moods store in New York City's Garment District. And I must have spaced out because when I was buying this fabric, because silk fabrics are generally 44 inches wide, and somehow I only purchased 1.5 yards of this fabric, and generally 1.5 yards is really not enough to make a dress. So normally I buy 2 yards of silk fabrics. But somehow, because I only had 1.5 yards of this, so I decided that this would be, a good choice for this fabric, since this dress has no sleeves and no shoulders. And so because I have very limited amount of fabric, I did not make a full placket for this one. So this one I just cut the front bodice and the skirt on the fold, and so that was what happened. And to cut out the cold shoulder pieces, one has to be cut at 90 degrees from the grain instead of along the grain. But since this fabric has no stretch, so it's not an issue. And I lined this dress with sort of complementary blue china silk. And overall, this dress is, because of the materials, is very soft, and also it feels so luxurious when I wear it. It almost feels like silk pajamas, and so it was really good. So I really liked it. And one thing I have learned the hard way about this particular dress is that I should have switched to a new needle when I started this project. Because while I was sewing the darts for the front bodice, I immediately snagged the fabric, and it was directly across here. But fortunately, it was just one thread of the silk, and it was not too bad. So I continued on. So I did not waste this fabric. And so as soon as I switched to a new needle, it was no problem. Sewing went smoothly, even though the silk charmeuse is quite slippery. So I did have to pay a little extra attention when I sew. But overall, it was not an issue whatsoever. And because this fabric, because this dress has no plackets, so I decided just with whatever little fabric I have left over, I decided to just make these 2 little ties here. And to give, so I tied it to the front strap, here at the shoulder, to give it a little more interest. But then a side benefit of this little tie here is so that because I tied it actually not just at the strap for the dress, but also under my bra straps. So as a result, this tie can also secure the bra straps to the strap of the dress. So then it definitely, definitely the bra straps will not show. And so that's an added benefit. So I actually may do the same thing for this dress and also for the floral dress. One thing I have learned very early on is that I I need to save the scraps from my cutting out until a dress is done, meaning that I completed, I'm happy with how it is, and I do not anticipate using the scraps. That's when I actually put it away in a recycle bag. And so in a way, because I don't throw them out, and so in a way, if I change my mind, I can always go back and dig them out if I need to use a little more fabric. And so so I saw that perhaps I can pass on this little tip. So here is a quick video of this silk Charmeuse dress, and I paired it with a pair of 3.5-inch silk sandals, and I thought overall it looks really nice, and in a way I was really pleasantly surprised by the little bow tie or tie detail that I added. And so overall, I am very happy with it. So these are the 3 dresses that I recently made that are inspired by the cold shoulder dress version of the Q dress from Nina Lee. And you may ask me, since Nina Lee Q dress is easily available as a PDF version, why do I even bother, with all this modification? I suppose, number one, I am not a big fan of PDF patterns because I do not enjoy putting it together because it's just time consuming. And number two, a dress would never fit me perfectly out of the packet. So I would still need to modify whatever pattern I purchase. And so I'm not so sure if it's really a time saver versus if I just modify from an existing pattern that has already been altered to fit me. And also I suppose I enjoy tinkering with things. And in a way, by tinkering with the pattern to, for various sort of design ideas, I also learned, I'm not so sure how much, but I feel I definitely learned some fundamentals of pattern making and how to fit a bodice. And so in a way, I quite enjoy this learning process. And I really enjoyed sewing because it provides, for example, this cotton is I think $6 a yard, and then so it's 2 yards of this quilting cotton, and so the whole thing is definitely under $20, including the lining fabric and the zipper. And yet $20 provide me with hours and hours of entertainment and education. And at the end of the process, I have a really nice dress that fit me and that I'm proud to wear. So I'm so happy I picked up sewing garments as a hobby last year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do stay safe, and I hope I will see you soon. Bye-bye.